attending this session. My name is Mike Leach. I work for Lenovo. We're here as a gold sponsor. So I'm very cautious of your time. I do not want this to be any time of sales pitch at all. But I wanted to spend some time with you to educate very smart people in the room on understanding the importance, I guess, of the underlying computing landscape in the world of artificial intelligence. It's this really cool thing called AI. You may have heard of it. You know, for us, ChatGPT is the poster child that all of a sudden has made computing power from Lenovo and our partners at NVIDIA very relevant. But every single customer I speak to across the globe, there is a big disconnect between getting the actual intelligence out, where the data starts from. So hopefully you can take some time and learn from some of the information that I'm looking forward to sharing with you today. So I'm Mike Leach. I'm at Mr. Workstation UK on, I would say Twitter, but it's X now, as a friend commented earlier. Anyone would like to follow me? I'm the senior manager at Lenovo. I manage a very talented team of solution experts within our worldwide Workstation business unit. But as the world's largest PC manufacturer, we've got a lot of insight and a lot of AI that we use in-house, hoping to help share some of that with you. So this might seem like a fairly obvious slide, but it's something I show to every customer that we work with, that AI is definitely a journey, and it's not a destination. It's a new stream of business. It requires resource, budget, management, buy-in at the highest level. It's not something fake you can just switch on. The intelligence isn't just there. You've got to build it and maintain it. And I think that's something which we're seeing now as CTOs around the world are almost writing blank checks to bring AI in their business to save the world. But what we're actually seeing is that those blank checks don't last forever. And we're helping customers build and carve out their AI strategy that scales, both scales out and scales up as the use cases for AI grow. So for us, AI should not be pushed where it doesn't need to go. You need to look for a problem, either an inefficiency in your workflow or a pain point for your business. Find where AI can support that and then work back. You can put a round plug in a square hole all day long, but it's not meant to be there. So find the square plug and then use that, and square plug, square hole. AI is, find the business case and work back. It is something which I'm recommending to everybody. And then, things then will scale beyond the unscalable proof of concept that never goes anywhere, just spends money. Actually something that will drive efficiency for your business. So, I could ask raise of hands. So we're asked customers, where are you on your AI journey? That might be stage 0 where no current plans, I'm too scared to move forward. I'm hoping no one puts their hand up for stage 0. Stage 3 being the complete opposite end of that, where you're already deploying AI at scale. And then stage 1 and stage 2 is either where you're just pulling open source tools, like an OpenAI style framework from cloud service providers, or whether you're building and training something in-house on your own data. So a quick show of hands, who's brave enough to say stage 0? That's an okay answer, but I'm hoping no one is there. Stage 1? Stage 2? Stage 3? Okay. So looking at each of those stages, the computing architecture, ultimately, it's almost like an iceberg. So much of that is hidden under the water that you may not have direct reference to. So I wanted to kind of see, well, look, within where do workstations fit and the underlying computing fabric within the AI landscape. So for us, we kind of split the market in kind of 2 areas. The 20% on the right, the integrated AI, that's in everything from Microsoft Teams and Office, Copilot type things from Microsoft. But it's the development phase where you use a hell of a lot of compute resources to actually get the intelligence there to prepare the data. And that's where, if we look at what organizations, if you get given a corporate issued laptop today, you can have it in any one of these 2 flavors, neither of which are typically, maybe appropriate for the job, and you just make do with what's there. So Looking at that 80%, the frameworks, the tools that you would use within there, they all have much higher requirements than your average IT or, day-to-day, office administration tasks. And it's quite common that your IT decision team don't understand those software applications, so they're not providing you with the right tools. If we look at the integrated side, it's the wild west of off-the-shelf software tools, which is a great way to see AI inferenced and used within the organization. But obviously the underlying hardware requirements for those are a lot different than what you have from the larger heavy lifting on the development side, actually creating the intelligence. So I'd say in the last few weeks, across the IT decision network, Microsoft announcements of Copilot has all of a sudden put the spotlight on how AI is important. And I think now's the time to help influence the hardware that you have access to make sure that your day-to-day jobs of creating the intelligence across your business are as efficient and as sustainable as possible. So, day in the life of a data scientist, it's not that well documented, but this was from the State of Data Science from Anaconda from this year. From last year. A workstation will excel at 85% of your day-to-day workflow. When time is money, sat there waiting to prepare data, cleanse the data, visualize, model selection or training, trying to do that on compute resources that come purely from the cloud, there is no such thing as the cloud. It is just somebody else's computer. So for us, making sure that you can be faster and agile, almost like fail fast, fail cheap, is where we're at. And that's typically where a higher powered computer workstation is built. And if we look at everything from, I would say, server cloud class deployment on the left, all the way through to then creating the content and consuming the content, we actually have a broad portfolio. But it's understanding, well, look, workstations are built to do the heavier lifting tasks of those data tasks. And then it's quite uncommon that, they are the go-to choice. So we're here to kind of highlight, well, look, the importance of the underlying CPU, GPU, memory performance is there to deliver the power you need to work on much larger data sets. So there are three types of computing platform: PC, workstation, or cloud. Most people will have PC and go straight to the cloud, as I've said, but the workstation sits in the middle and delivers a much bigger range of performance at a significantly cheaper cost than what it takes you to take things from your popular cloud service provider. So looking at kind of raw performance, we're not exactly where we are on the PC side. That's purely designed for inferencing. The cloud, a significantly bigger investment, or high-end server systems on-prem, significantly large performance. But a workstation is the best value for you to have that sandbox secure environment for you to then go and scale your projects wherever or whenever your business needs them. So why a workstation versus the cloud? So I've covered some of this, but for me, working with large amounts of data can be painful. Everything requires high-end CPU, high-end GPU, high-end memory. You don't have that on your traditional, IT-given laptop, but you can have it from the cloud at a very attractive from price. But once you dial in the cloud, in theory, then you're kind of hooked on that drug, and the tokens and the cost of that obviously can be a little bit cost prohibitive at scale. So we're here to kind of augment that process. So imagine a workstation being the on-ramp to the data center. You want time and flexibility to then test and move before joining the highway there at full speed. So cost efficient, you get access to your local data very fast. You can fail fast and fail cheap. And I think that's the last piece I want to take there, is that the working and manipulating that large amounts of data is no longer painful if you have the right computing platform to do the job. And they scale very, very well. So scaling out with the broad configurations, you can buy a product and then add to it to grow in its flexibility as your AI needs grow. And then you can scale up and you can build, on-prem data centers of these style of products. Should your AI deployments be successful, if you want to build your own, generative AI chatbot and have it running inside your business. It might be a hospital, so you can't take that data outside of your VPN on your network. you can run it locally on a workstation. That could be your edge device, and then that could then scale. So they're very, very versatile. I won't want to endorse the Swiss Army knife, but imagine it as the Swiss Army knife of computing platforms that can be, tailor-made and suited to your needs. So we can start mobility. So quick show of hands. Who here does any AI development on a laptop? AI development on servers? AI development in the cloud? Okay. So by starting on a mobile workstation, we've done some numbers with probably our top 100 global accounts. And we're seeing cost savings of in excess of 80%, where turning down the cloud and winding up the laptop to balance those out, augment your cloud resources, significantly cheaper than to optimize your workflow on a more powerful laptop, to then make better use of company money on scaling to the cloud when it's right. We offer every form factor, every price point, every configuration needed. And we actually have some on the booth just outside for those that want to take a look. And then you move then maybe to more of a desktop platform. That can be something large under your desk. It's something that can be in the office and you use from home. You can remotely access all of these. And then they are that true on-ramp then to the data center, the large server clusters, and those that fall into then large cloud service providers. But we are seeing, I would say, competing strategies and priorities for the business. So we work very closely as the world's largest PC manufacturer directly with IT decision makers. But those IT decision makers, they're given smaller budgets. They're in business. Their main role is to make their life easier. So they have what we would call a restricted IT catalog. You can have any flavor of one of these laptops. It might be a 14 or a 15-inch, but that's all you get to choose from, neither of which are very appropriate. And their priorities around security, they're not necessarily at the table discussing part of the business AI strategy. And then in competing contrast, the data science team, they're the poster child of the organization at the moment. They're promising the earth and going to save the world. They're almost given unrestricted budgets. They have, the definition of what we call rogue IT. So they can buy any hardware that they need to get the job done. So they're buying something off the IT catalog that's less secure, that's not built for the enterprise. And in doing so, they're then dialing in cloud resources. So the CTO on the other side of the table is there writing blank checks with a growing, cloud service bill. And the CFO in the middle is just he's trying to save money on IT, but he's spending more money over here. And the collective answer is that when you're building out your AI strategy, you need to have all the key stakeholders in the room. And at the moment, we're seeing IT are not necessarily part of that discussion. And that's something we would like to see change, because the technology that underpins the success and the scalability of AI needs to have that IT decision maker. It needs to be an on-prem infrastructure conversation, either at the client side all the way through to workstation servers and beyond. And the overall cost savings for a business can be significant. We have an example which we use in the retail space. We had a large retail customer that they employed 2 data scientists that came straight out of university as interns over the summer. They were given whatever they needed for this AI project, 2 basic laptops. They spent $750,000 in their popular cloud service provider because they wanted to try every scenario to come out with the perfect insight. And the cost of the workstations being $50,000, $60,000 were an expensive IT investment, so that was a no-no. But they spent, nearly 10 times that overall in the cloud service providers. So overall, the business spent significantly more money to achieve the end result. And actually then, having the right team at the table, if the IT team were aware of what the hardware is capable of doing, and overall with a CFO conversation, we believe that there are, significant savings to be had in different siloed areas of the business. And I challenge that, let's see what we can do to knock down some of those. So I guess these are questions I'm going to ask. I'm not expecting, real-time answers, but feel free to shout out. What would reducing your time to insight mean? If you can get the the valuable insight out of your data faster, does that change then how or where you deploy AI within your business? Are you constantly running out of cloud credits? You having to go cap in hand to your boss to sign off on yet more compute power because you do have that unlimited compute power available to you. The all-you-can-eat buffet sounds great until you get on the weigh-in scales at the end of the month kind of thing. So you have to look at it and figure out, well, what's the most successful and an efficient way to use that? And then, are you aligned with your IT teams on the compute needs? Because the cloud is just somebody else's computer, and it doesn't come for free. They have to buy hardware, they have to maintain it. You're just leasing it on a per-hour basis. You can also look to save money and lease, the computer hardware from, your trusted IT provider like Lenovo. So you can have that device as a service on a monthly, a daily, or an hourly cost, so that it isn't a big CapEx investment. It can become a complete, operational expense. And I can challenge, who's looking to save money and operate more efficiently? It might be a bit of a hard question to answer, but I think we could almost guarantee to save everybody here money in some way, shape, or form just by aligning the right teams with the right technology and putting that right technology in the hands of the right people at the right time. Data is the new currency, and we need to make sure that that data is used responsibly, and it's in the right place at the right time in the hands of the right people. Feel free to come and check out our booth. We're just outside around near the where the suites are on the bar. Thanks everyone for the time.